In the first video we have learned how to create how to give the answer of Spring basic questions, and Spring core we have given the answer about this. Interviewer most favorite questions about what is a Spring core container, and what are the context in the Spring framework, and what are the code beans in a Spring framework, what is the IOC containers, and what are the two containers in a Spring provides, that is a bean factory and application context. We have given the answer. And now coming to the six questions, we have put how to create object of a bean factory container, and the same questions how to create object for application context. In this we have given that one extra object we are needed for the resource that we need to pass from this object. Okay. Let's coming for the next questions for the interview. What is dependency injection? The first questions today we are going to pass. Okay. What is dependency? Dependency. What is dependency injection? Injection in Spring. The most asked ever questions in interview. What is dependency injection in Spring? Okay. Dependency injection is a design pattern. You can say it's a design pattern that removes the dependency from programming code, and so that it can be easy to manage and test the application. Okay. So dependency injection makes our program coding loosely coupled. To understand the DI better, I'm giving you a simple dependency injection example. Like we are in future we are using some concept like dependency lookup. Okay. Coming to next questions around the same answer, we need to pass through this. Okay. And dependency injection is a design pattern. It's a design pattern that removes dependency from existing code, from programming code. You can say programming code. Okay. Second point, you can say it is easy to manage and test application. You can benefits is to manage. Benefits are in managing the application and in testing. These 2 points are benefits in managing the application or testing. So it is easy to manage, and in testing the application is easy. What does mean that dependency injection makes our programming code loosely coupled? Means, right, if an object is dependent on another class object, then it's called dependent, and if object is not dependent to another object, then it is called loosely coupled. Okay. For more detail, I am explaining the dependency lookup. What is dependency lookup? There is a concept, it was an old concept, that dependency lookup is an approach where we get the resource after demand, on demand or after demand. Okay. In on demand, when an object required, like you want some data from the database. Okay. You are writing a query, you hit the query, and then you get a detail. Then the same feature it provides in dependency lookup approach. Like we get the resource after demand. We demand something, then it will provide. Okay, you can, and in the dependency lookup there can be various ways to get the resource. Okay, like means dependency lookup is an approach. You can write it's an approach it's an approach it's an approach in which in which in which user gets resource after demand. Okay, and there are multiple ways to design it. Let's go through it. The first, a has a object and we are providing new a implementation. Okay, there is a object. Okay, in such a way we get resource. It's an instance of class A directly by new keyword. Another way is a factory method. Like here we can write we get resource yeah, you can say instance of a class a object directly by new keyword. Okay, and if there is another object b obj equal to b dot get b. There is another example. In this example we can say we get the resource on calling by calling a static factory method. Okay, these two different way we can get dependency. Okay, we can get resource after calling. Okay, means we got the object o obj here by using new keyword, and here in b object we get object implementation by calling get method, which is a static method in b class. Okay, in both cases it's called dependency lookup. Okay, and in there is some other way we can get the resource by another lot of way. Okay, so coming to the problem, what was the problems of dependency lookup? What was the problems? What was the problems in dependency lookup? Sorry, what was the problem in dependency lookup? Okay, coming to this point, I am giving the example. Okay, so take your time and learn well. Means there are a lot of ways, a lot of problems. In those problems I am giving a single problems like tight coupling. I think we should write like this: tight coupling. Okay, tight coupling. Tight couplings means the dependency lookup approach makes the code tightly coupled. Okay, means the dependency lookup approach makes the code tightly coupled. If a resource is changed, we need to perform a lot of modification in the code. Simple. Okay, it's very simple to understand that if a resource is changed, we need to perform a lot of modification in the code. So it provides tightly coupled. Okay. You can say in the dependency lookup approach. The dependency lookup approach, if resource if resource is changed, if resource is changed, we have to perform a lots of modifications in existing codes. Okay, and so that this approach provides mm, code 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 this approach code provides this approach makes, you can say, makes the code tightly coupled. Okay, right? What was the problem in dependency lookup? In this, you can say, in the dependency lookup approach, if a resource is changed, we have to perform a lot of modification in the existing code, and so that this approach provides or makes the code tightly coupled. Okay, and second point is that not easy to test. Okay, what does it mean? This approach creates a lot of problems while testing the application in black box testing. This approach provides a lot of problems while testing the application in black box testing. Okay, so you can say this approach uh, in this approach provides various uh, mm, problems, or you can say uh, bugs, you can say problems in testing in black box testing. Okay, yes sir, listen to it. Now coming to the point that how does mean that it provides tightly coupled or it's not easy. Coming to the provides a simple example in dependency injection. We have given the answer that dependency injection is a design pattern that removes the dependency of the program. In such case, we provide the information from the external source such as XML file. It makes our code loosely coupled and easier for testing. In such case, we write the code in our own manner. Like I'm going to write a simple application in Java. Okay. I'm writing in the same program. I will treat it whether I'm using it. Okay. Inside this, I'm going to write in the model class. Right click, go to this and provide class. I'm going to write the name students. Okay. In these students, I'm going to write first write the application. This is a simple class student. In this, if there is an existing student parent info or anything, yeah, I'm giving the example like student address. There is a address, the address class, the address class. In address class there is a string city name and string state name and other stuffs and other stuffs. Okay. Coming to this line, that I have an instance of address I have an instance of address and in the student class, and another is string student name and address. Only one name and address. And in this, if we provide setter and getter like in the core Java, it works. Okay. In this concept, I am removing these two to understand well. Okay. There is a feature you can see in this line. Okay. Address public void these things. Okay. I think we need to write here so that we will get the answer well. Let's see. Let's understand. Remove it. This is a class. Okay. This is your class. This is your class. This class provides student class, and there is also another class, address class, that have some attributes and other stuffs along with this. This address become the attribute of this class, and we are setting at runtime address. Okay. So dependency, how dependency is a design pattern. Okay. At runtime, each address will goes to initialize this address of each student. In such case, instance of address class is provided by external source such as XML file, either by constructor or setter method. You can say. So there is two ways to perform dependency injection in this. Some guys can also be say that when object is going to create own instance, it will initialize the address here equal to my address. What does it mean? We are providing address. Okay. In this scenario, this will also work. Okay. It means in these two cases, object of address class can be initialized. Okay, means the instance of address class is provided either by constructor or setter method. Okay. Next, there is two way to perform dependency injection. If interview may ask questions like how many ways to perform di in string framework. In dependency injection, how many ways we can provide this? Okay, coming to this point. Okay, I'm giving the example answer. Okay, means how many ways to perform dependency injection in string framework? The two way, that the first one is constructor, another is setter. Okay, to give the answer, there are two ways to inject dependency. First one is by constructor, and second by setter method. And giving the example like this, we can provide, and like this we can this and this. This two way we can provide the address and by setter method. In deeply, how we provide setter injection in dependency injection by constructor. In dependency injection by constructor, we can inject the dependency by constructor using constructor argument tag. It's a sub element of bin, is used for constructor injection. Okay, so in detail we are going to give the answer. Okay, constructor di by constructor, dependency injection by constructor. Percent is the answer. Dependency injection by constructor way. Dependency injection by constructor. Okay, means some questions are interview, they can also ask, can we inject the dependency by constructor or not? In this case you can give the answer that we can inject the dependency by constructor using the constructor argument tag. Is a sub element of bin tag. Okay, so what does it mean? means we can say uh, injecting injecting being injecting sorry injecting dependency injecting dependency by constructor constructor by constructor we have to we have to add constructor constructor hugs constructor hug tag in being tag. Okay, constructor sub element tag, yeah, you can say right then. And here we can also inject primitives and other values. Here we can inject primitive string values and dependent dependent object and collection values. These can be injected in constructor. Okay. In the same, we can also provide by setter method. In the setter method, we need to only wait 1 minute. Construct by setter method. In these two way we can do. Okay, we can inject by setter method the property tag property tag in being is used for setter method. Okay, and we can inject same way. In both cases we can provide. Now there is a point, what are the difference between these two? Okay, some questions means you can say constructor provides partial cannot provide partial injection. Okay, but in setter method we can provide both partial as well as non-partial. Okay, okay. So they are the simple questions that are asked in that may be asked in interview. The most favorite questions: what is the dependency injection in a string? Let's give one I over it. Dependency injection is a design pattern that removes dependency from the programming code. Benefits are in the managing the application and in testing. And in dependency lookup, what is the? It's an approach in which user gets resource after demand, and there are multiple ways to design it. The first, using the new keyword, we can instantiate an object of a class, and another way we can get by calling a static factory method we can initialize an object. Okay, and what are the problems in dependency lookup? So in dependency lookup there is tightly coupled and not easy to testing, and there is I have given the simple program over it, student and address class. Address class become the instance of a student class, and it can be use setter method to initialize, or either by setter method to initialize or by constructor. In constructor there is two ways to I have asked one question: how many ways to perform dependency injection in the string? There are two ways to inject the dependency. The first way is to constructor, or second way is the setter method. Okay, and in dependency injection by constructor, we have to add constructor argument, and inside the bin tag, or and 1 minute, bin tag is also like that. Bin tag, bin tag. Okay, good. And in setter method the same property tag will be added. Thank you.